Jesus, who is divine and a part of the divine essence, entered the womb of Mary, you believe God entered the womb of Mary and came out the private organ of Mary, and doesn't this defile God? Doesn't this?
I specifically said there's no parts in God. So you keep attributing parts because you think the distinctions entail.
No, but
proposition
the
division. There's no
fact
parts
that
in
you
God.
believe Jesus is human and divine.
He's a
he's
divine
human
person who assumed human nature. Yeah.
Yes, so he had human nature.
Right.
So you believe he was contained in the womb of Mary. When he came out, was he covered in blood?
No, the birth from Mary was a virgin birth.
Yeah, but when women give birth, the child is covered in blood. Was Jesus covered in blood at the time of birth?
No, because the covering in blood is part of the effects of the fall, and Jesus was not
Jesus
fallen.
coming out from the private organs of a woman, isn't this a defilement of God Almighty himself?
No, the biological existence was created by God. There's nothing inherently defiling about the body, and no, he was not born according to the fall.
Then why would God outlaw the woman when she's in a menses, in a periods, in the Old Testament? All these laws apply
I just denied that his birth was according to natural process.
But
It's a virgin birth. It's a miracle.
You said that the defilement of
I said that there's nothing inherently defiling about biology, and I added that he did not have a natural birth.
But if there's nothing defiling about natural birth, in this case, or you say generally,
There's a different reason for the virgin birth.
no, but
I said there's not a biological defilement. I didn't say there's not a moral defilement.
a woman.
So you're confusing biology with spirituality. It's two different things.
No, but a woman urinates from her private organ. For God to come out of that private organ.
No, that's just based on your presupposition that that's defiling.
It's not
Yes, it is.
presupposition, because Mary did relieve herself,
Sure.
didn't she?
Sure.
Yeah. So for God to come out of that, is that not
It's
going
no more
against
defiling than God creating those organs.
And so God.
I mean, this is silly.
When God creating those organs, it doesn't mean God touches those organs or anything of that nature.
It doesn't matter because he still created it. It's not tactile touching.
God coming out.
Because you think physical things are defiling.
If that weren't the case, then why would the laws of menstruation? This is why I mentioned the laws of menstruation.
Because they were typological. They were types of what was to come.
No, but at that point,
I mean, I'm telling you what our position is.
Or if a person relieves themselves, why do they clean themselves? Because it's considered impure.
That's not physical. That's not a
Even
spiritual
Moses,
defilement.
when
That's
he
a
would
cleanliness.
enter
That's clean.
when Moses
We don't
went to
believe that physical ritual impurity is the same thing as
When
moral
Moses would
impurity.
enter the temple, he would wash himself, bathe himself, clean himself.
Yeah,
physically.
moral purity is different from ceremonial purity. That's what I'm trying to tell
But
you.
I'm saying that there's a defilement of.
On your presupposition, it's a defilement. No, it's not.
When Jesus was laid on the cross, was he naked?
No.
All historians will tell you when people were crucified.
All historians. So you keep appealing to all these
again,
fallacies. All historians. You can't show all historians. That's a fallacy, by the way. It wouldn't matter how many historians say that.
If you go to valid historians, they will tell you Romans when they would impress.
That's another fallacy. That's the purity fallacy that only the valid historians. So you just keep using fallacies.
Private regions. Would Jesus eat food and drink?
Who are the true historians? That's a fallacy.
No, but Jesus, when he would eat and drink, would he relieve himself?
Yes, he had biological processes.
So again, is that not an insult to God and the
not.
society to God, that to ascribe these things to God?
No, because God created that biological process itself. So if it's wrong to participate in it, then he shouldn't have created it.
Ascribe impurities to God.
That's just your presupposition of what's impure.
Then how can again anyone who has these contingent attributes would by definition be perishing?
Yeah, but you're thinking in either ors, right? So the divine hypostasis of Christ underwent no change. So he doesn't become contingent as if he underwent change. We believe he underwent no change.
He does become contingent because the very meaning of what do you
he doesn't. No, only in your dialectical system. And I'm telling you that we reject your dialectics of opposition.
What do you exactly mean by contingent?
It's a both and not an either or. So he didn't become contingent by stepping into time and
What do you mean by
space.
contingent? What's your definition of contingent?
Well, he entered into time and space in the same way that he entered into time and space in all the theophanies.
Generally, what's your definition of contingent?
Contingency would be subject to change, would be related to creation, would be related to composition. So all of those things are features of his human nature. But the
I would
divine
define-
hypostasis of Christ didn't go undergo change.
I would define contingency as existence after non-existence.
Yeah, his human nature came into existence. I already said
So,
that.
so his human nature, which is also divine,
No, it's not.
so he's a
He's
combination.
created. His divine
Uh,
nature
I-
is divine. His human nature is not divine.
So God created a human body
Correct.
within the womb of Mary.
Correct.
But that human body, which is Jesus, is the Logos which transferred.
It's not a transformation, it's a joining. It's a both and, not an either
How
or.
did they join? How did the divine essence join with the body?
It's a divine person that possesses a divine essence that are joined to
How did
human
he
nature.
possess? How did he possess?
How did he do it?
Yeah,
He's God, he can do that. The
does-
same way that he can speak in time and space like you believe.
No, we don't believe he can speak in time and space. We don't
Did
say-
Allah speak to
we
people?
don't say that. We don't say again. That's you.
1 minute.
That's a straw man argument.
Did God, does the Quran
You're
say
making
Allah
a
spoke to
presupp-
anyone?
You're making a presupposition and then.
Yeah, well, when I asked you what it meant, you couldn't answer.
Again, my question is, how did the divine transfer himself from the throne, from a place, to the womb of Mary? Meaning, is that what you mean?
He's
did
not
he
contained in
submerge-
any time. He's
did
not
he
contained
sub-
in a place, but he can
did he
step in.
submer-
It's because it's a both and. He can do both. It's not an
Did
either
he,
or.
did he submerge with the
30 seconds.
physical body and with Mary at that time?
No, it's not submerged. He underwent no change. I don't know how many times I have to say that.
He underwent no change, but that doesn't make any logical sense because
Why?
you're saying he was formed in the womb of Mary, but that's the human.
You're just
part.
assuming that he
But
underwent a change
how-
by doing
How
that.
did the divine enter the human flesh?
The same way
doesn't
that the divine enters into any point in time and space.